against the Guardians. Will cleared his throat. Or they think you've gone rogue and are up for grabs to any of the 3 societies. Ick. James rolled up his map and smacked Will on the calf. That's my sister you're talking about. I just hope they don't figure out the truth. I gulped, my gaze darting from my brother to my boyfriend sitting beside me. James set the map down and crossed his hands behind his neck. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be long until they figure out what we're up to. By the time they do, we need to be ready. Will cocked his head at my brother. Does that mean you think we need to go to Switzerland and lie low for a while? You know, gather our resources. James pursed his lips into a grim line and bobbed his head. That's exactly what I'm thinking. We still have no idea where the last 2 rubies are hidden. I have no credible intel on them yet, only unsubstantiated bits and pieces. I hate to agree that we need to lie low for a while, because I know Nexus will only tighten their search until they find us. But I think it's a risk we need to take to gather enough resources to stand a chance against them. My pulse picked up speed as James calmly laid the risks out on the table like they were simply a deck of cards, and this was just another hand to play. Wasn't there anywhere we could go to be free of Nexus? Was I a silly teenage girl to hope that leaving the Guardians meant freedom from the 3 societies? It sure didn't feel like freedom right now. It felt more vulnerable and exposed than ever, like a lone antelope frolicking through the open savanna, just waiting for 3 tribes of hungry lions to descend on me. At any moment, they could capture me again, and it'd be game over. James and Will were still talking about our chances, completely oblivious to my internal freakout. Good. Let them think I was a strong and powerful seer, not some quivering 17-year-old girl afraid of her own shadow. Do you have contacts in Switzerland that could help us? Will asked, eyebrows scrunching into that adorable V that I wanted to scratch. A little warmth seeped into my heart, sending some of my fears away. For now. James glanced out the window as the train stopped in a desolate station in the middle of nowhere. I have 2 contacts in Switzerland. One is in Basel, one is in Zurich. But Basel is too close to the French border. If we change trains there, we might be spotted. I think we should head for Zurich. Good idea. Zurich will have more resources to help us hunt down the last 2 rubies. Will traced his fingers across my shoulder. I'm just worried that Nexus won't honor the treaty. What? I gasped, a strangled cry leaving my throat before I had a chance to check it. Why would they risk angering the Guardians? James leaned forward, elbows on his knees. They've already stolen a Guardian amethyst and one of the Watcher's sapphires. They didn't seem to care then that they'd start this war between the 3 societies. I don't know that they'd care now about breaking the neutrality treaty. In times of war, Will mumbled, his grim expression mirroring my brother's. He leaned toward the train map, plastered on the wall in Dutch and German, scrunching up his eyebrows again in the process. We need to decide quickly if you want to avoid changing trains in Basel. Frankfurt is the next stop to get us directly to Zurich. As my brother and my boyfriend talked strategy, my heart pounded in my chest again. Closing my eyes, I leaned into Will's shoulder and let him wrap his arm around me. Maybe I should be deciding these things. Hey, I'd decided to leave the shelter of the misguided Guardians. Let someone else take over the details. What kind of leader would I turn out to be if I couldn't delegate? A little voice in the back of my head whispered, "That's such a cop-out." Funny how that voice sounded so much like my best friend, Shonda. Even though she'd passed away only 4 months ago, I still carried her with me wherever I went. I hoped I'd always hear her voice in my head, spurring me on to do better, to be better. Sniffing away the tears that threatened to bubble up, I closed my eyes and tried to picture her face. In the blackness behind my eyelids, images appeared in my mind's eye, but they weren't of my best friend. Instead, another all-too-familiar image appeared in my patron saint, the beautiful Saint Lucia.